Hey guys, it's Claire. Welcome back. If you are new here, Don and I are growing food for a family of 4 for the second attempt. We are a folk rock duo, and last year when all of our gigs got canceled, we decided to put our creative energies into growing food. So there's more on that in our channel trailer video. But we're doing a weekly garden tour every Sunday, and then on Thursdays we're doing vlogs and all things Ormewoods, behind the scenes, from cooking and building to just growing busy teenagers in our busy household. So check back in, and if you'd like to make sure you don't miss anything, hit the subscribe button, and even that bell will notify you when we have new content. So every time you open up YouTube, it's right there. Y'all, this is how mid-February started for us. Mid-60s, sunny days, absolutely gorgeous this week. We got ants in our pants. I went out, I cut some camellias off of our bush, brought them inside to put on the kitchen table so we could enjoy a little bit of the outdoors inside. And then we made some new raised garden beds, or at least got the cardboard down, and we watered the cardboard. And then the cold and the rain came, and despite the fact that we had ordered dirt and mulch to be delivered this weekend for all of our fantasy plantings we were gonna do in this beautiful weather, it's been cold, wet, rainy, and just kind of stinky. So here is the overhead shot of the mid-February winter garden for you, complete with unfinished garden beds. Now the truth is, some good things did happen. We saw our very first radish, and look how beautiful that is. A carrot volunteer from where we planted them last year. The broccoli that we discovered last week or the week before is still kicking butt. My celery is starting to look like celery, and I need to pot that up. My cabbage is hardening off and getting ready to get planted in its permanent location. And I've got seedlings, and more seedlings. In fact, this is something that I want to talk to you about a little bit more at the end of the video. There's my lettuce, because I'm getting asked a lot of questions, particularly about Leggy seedlings like you see there. So there's video chapters in the description. If you're wanting to skip ahead, go ahead, but we'll get to that. We found a mushroom, and we found 2 potatoes from last year's harvest that we missed. And you said you had a surprise for me?
Well, yeah, I've been working on the garage a little bit.
Yep.
So that little storage area that has always kind of been full of junk, I kind of cleaned it out, and I thought maybe we could use that for your seeds and stuff.
Ooh, that's exciting.
A little potting station. It's a little bit gross.
It's got a lot of space.
It does have a lot of space.
And we could store potatoes and onions and garlic. That's really cool. Is this your thing, or did this come with the house?
No, this is my thing. I'm gonna keep all my shop tools and stuff.
Oh. So there's like black droppings. Is that rat poop?
That is rat poop.
Yeah, so the rat poop is gonna have to be taken care of, because I'm all about nature until I have to actually deal with the nature.
So I put a bait out over here, which hopefully will kind of start to calm it down. And of course I'm gonna get a vacuum in here and we'll get this all cleaned up.
Why don't you get a... So gross. Why did you get a vacuum out now? All right, so all of my creative friends, this is your chance. Help me pick a color, preferably Sherwin, because we have an account with them that we can paint this space. I'd like it to be soothing and nature inspired. I'm leaning towards green, but I don't want anything like dill pickly green, because there's no windows, there's no real light exposure. And watch us get this place put together over this growing season. I can't wait. I really struggle sometimes with showing you guys just ugly footage of our garden or our driveway or our yard. It just feels like a little... But then I think, part of how we learned so much was just seeing the reality of what it was going to take and what it was going to look like. And I'm on a Facebook group, and somebody posted the other day, like, my garden is nowhere near as pretty as all of your gardens. I shouldn't even be on this group. And I just thought, that's not the point, your garden is beautiful for whatever your garden is. And the fact that you're growing stuff is really cool. And so I do think there's merit in seeing the good, bad, and the ugly. I don't know. Just show me a heart if you agree with that comment. There's a piece of me, I'm a Southern girl, it's a little bit embarrassing, but then I'm also just like, this is what it is. This is real life. And we have busy jobs and demanding households, and we have an acre. to keep up with, and we're in winter, and this is the time of year where you clear and you prepare. So that's what we are doing right now. So thanks for letting us share that with you. So what is your plan today? I know you've got a lot to do, but what were you planning on doing? Anything?
I mean, it stopped raining a little bit, so I was gonna get some of this dirt on the blueberries. See if we can get that.
Man, that already looks so much better.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out here in the rain. In the last video, I mentioned the kale and the Swiss chard and how we just weren't eating it, and then so many of you were like, eat that kale, eat it. So I did come out here and clean it up, and I have to say it looks a lot better. I also put a fresh layer of compost on it, but Brussels sprouts as well. Let me show you them.
If you had told me a year ago that 12 months from now you will be shoveling dirt onto a potato bed, I would have said you have completely lost your mind. But you know what? It has been a crazy year, and I have really been enjoying working in this garden with Claire. We have had a ton of failures along the way, but this year we've also had successes, and this is springtime, and this is when everything starts to grow, and I'm really hopeful that this year we're gonna really nail it. But you know what? Even if we don't, Claire and I have found a whole different way to be creative with each other.
Hey guys, so I had to come inside because it's just cold and rainy. And I did mention earlier that I was going to talk to you about seedlings. I know a lot of you watching are like me and Dawn were a year ago, just kind of new to this and just curious and wanting to get started, but not exactly sure how to start. And I think that's just really cool. That's one of the blessings maybe of the pandemic, is that it's brought a lot of people back to nature and really thinking about self-sufficiency and what that looks like. So seedlings obviously are a little bit trickier than just direct sowing. We've always bought starts from a plant center and then put them in the garden or just direct sowed. So this is the first year we've really tried seedlings. And part of that is because we just got such a late start to our garden last year, and we really wanted to take advantage and extend the growing season this year. So I tell you that to say if you're getting started, it may not be you want to mess with seedlings. You might just want to get some starts from your local nursery and get them in the ground when the time is right. I think there's nothing wrong with that. There's just so much to learn. But if you are wanting to do seedlings, one of the challenges is when they get leggy. And these are some of my broccolis, and you can see how tall they are. This isn't how they should look, okay? Now they started, you may remember, in an egg crate. And this dried out so quickly after they germinated. You know, I had to keep the dome open, that they were leggy from the start. So I had then moved them, and I always label and date. I moved them on February 6th to here and buried them way deep down. And you can see now that it's February 13th, gosh. And look how much they've already grown. So I'm gonna have to take care of this today and make sure I get these things protected, because I love broccoli. My family eats a lot of broccoli. We're trying to grow food for a family of 4, so we don't wanna lose these seedlings. When they germinate, they're stretching for light. And so if you don't have the right light set up, then you're gonna get the leggy seedlings. And so let me show you behind me, you can see. We bought these grow lights that clip on to your kitchen countertop from Amazon. And what I like about them is there's 3 of them, and you can lift them up or you can lift them down. They also have a timer on them so that you can go, 3 hours, if you see it right there, 3 hours, 6 hours, or 12 hours, and you can adjust the brightness. And so we've got 3 of these, but what we're finding, and you can see those are kind of leggy. Those are Brussels sprouts, so we're working on that. I have a lot of work to do today. That is basil and oregano. Now these I had already potted up, and these will be going into the garden very soon. I was just trying to get through this cold spell. But that setup has worked really well. I think the main reason why these broccoli are just leggy is I could have used just another light, honestly. And those lights were like 30 bucks off of Amazon. I mean, they were really inexpensive. So if you're wanting to start, I would start with that. I will say, after doing the egg thing, I'm not gonna do this again. I just feel like they're too shallow. They're basically only good for germination, and then you have to be ready to pot up. And I lost some plants because I just didn't get to them fast enough and they died off. So I'm gonna stick to maybe this size or a little bit smaller and go from there. So I really like hearing your questions. It's so encouraging because it tells me that other people are on the same wavelength that we're on, and I've got just as much to learn from you and your journey. So please share how I can follow you and how we can root you on. And any questions or comments that you have, please share with us. Thanks for sharing your weekend with us and watching our garden tour, and check back in next week.